Chapter 1331, Inviting Xianxia over. Chapter 1331, Inviting Xianxia over. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. The banquet started. In this small hall, there was only Feng Yuan, Wuan, and Xianxia, three Gu immortals. Wuan naturally did not play a key role. The only important thing was that Feng Yuan and Xianxia were interacting. Feng Yuan toasted Xianxia, speaking politely with a smile. He expressed a lot of admiration and praise towards Xianxia's formation path attainment. After smiling and admitting defeat, could Xianxia bear to give him a hard time? Xianxia was straightforward and unguarded, unschooled and interacting with others. He drank a lot of wine. He assessed Feng Yuan, looking at him in a different perspective. This Wu Yi is quite a friendly guy. What happened earlier? Was he trying to purposely anger me? Or does he have a request of me? Xianxia thought to himself. I will not hide it, Xianxia, talented people like you are the people I admire the most. Feng Yuan laughed, toasting. Xianxia raised his cup and drank before Feng Yuan even drank. The toasting from earlier had already made Xianxia used to this subconsciously. But Feng Yuan's words were nice to hear. Especially when they were love rivals, such praise made Xianxia feel deep accomplishment. No. I must be alert. This Wu Yi might be acting, he is very scheming. Xianxia did not let down his guard, but no matter how he looked at it, Feng Yuan's smile was full of sincerity. Hehe, forget about Feng Yuan's acting skills, but don't forget attitude Gu. Xianxia, take a look. Feng Yuan stretched out his arm, handing over an information path mortal Gu to Xianxia. What is this? Xianxia muttered. He looked into it and his expression changed. As it turned out, this was an information path mortal Gu that Feng Yuan was going to send to Xiao Si Lu. He praised Xianxia in the letter. His admiration was overwhelming. He admitted his own insufficiencies. Using formation path questions to challenge Xianxia was just him overestimating himself. He was truly ignorant and could not see Mount Tai. Xianxia was a true southern border hero. There was no such thing as Mount Tai in this world, but the meaning was the same. After Xianxia saw this letter, he felt embarrassed. Feng Yuan's praise was too exaggerated. Am I really so good? Southern border hero, why have I never thought of that? What would Fairy Si Lu think after she sees this? All sorts of thoughts appeared. Xianxia could not contain his emotions. When he looked at Feng Yuan again, his gaze transformed. Feng Yuan directly sat beside him. Xianxia did not feel any dislike towards this closeness. Xianxia, throughout the southern border Gu immortal world, only you are talented enough for Fairy Si Lu. I am truly in admiration. Feng Yuan laughed loudly. Oh. Xianxia did not know what to say. He had joy on his face but also suspicions. Feng Yuan said again, but I will not give up. All gentlemen may pursue beautiful and clever women. Even though I am less talented than you, I will work harder. You won this time, but we will compete fairly again in the future. What do you think? Hearing this, Xianxia's suspicions faded. He raised his cup for the first time and tasted Feng Yuan. Yes, fair competition. A contest between gentlemen should be fair and square. Saying this, he treated Feng Yuan as a gentleman. Feng Yuan laughed heartily, patting his shoulders. To speak the truth, I hate the other competitors, but you are different. You are so talented and upright, I admire you. If you can get Fairy Si Lu's love, I will bless you too, because I know that I did not lose unfairly. As for the others, they are just clowns. Xianxia was embarrassed from being praised. He rubbed his nose, saying, actually, some of them are quite strong. Friends are often made after a fight. Come, drink. Feng Yuan raised his cup. Xianxia acted even more openly. Drink. He raised his head and gulped, drinking all of the wine in one mouthful. Next, he burped. His face turned red. Awesome. Feng Yuan gave a thumbs up, pouring wine for Xianxia again. He smiled sincerely and enthusiastically, he was very friendly. But the truth was, he was calm in his mind, he thought about Qi Shang's information. Wu Clan's intelligence was very reliable. Fang Yuan knew long ago, this Qi Shang had been noticed by Qi Chuyu when he was young, he saw the talent that Qi Shang had in formation path, thus he nurtured him deeply. Qi Shang was known as the formation devotee. He was chosen when he was a youth, he was sent into a cave in Myriad Snake Mountain to study. He stayed there for 30 years. When he was 40, he came out and had rank 3 cultivation level, but he surpassed rank 4 and 5 Gu masters in creating formations, his formation path attainment shocked the entire Qi clan. Next, his clansmen realized that Qi Shang had actually come out of seclusion because he lost his way and accidentally left the mountain. His performance resulted in great fame, fortune and women came to him, but he rejected them all, his only request was to return to the cave and continue his formation path research. This alerted the Supreme Elders. Qi Chuyu permitted Qi Shang's request, creating a cave solely for him, with attendants and servants to cater to him. Qi Shang continued his research, he was so engrossed in it, it was shocking, as if formation path was the only joy in his life. He was invested in it, regardless of what happened outside, he only stayed in his cave, engrossed in his formation path cultivation without seeing daylight. When his hair turned white and his lifespan was ending, Qi Chuyu came to see him and asked, "In this life, did you regret anything? Do you have any requests before dying?" Qi Shang cried loudly, saying, "Life is too short, 100 years passes by too quickly, my formation path research still has many things left to do, how can I rest in peace? This is my biggest regret." Qi Chuyu sighed in admiration, granting him a lifespan Gu. Qi Shang obtained it, regaining his youth and lifespan. Qi Chuyu talked to him about formation path, guiding him for 3 days and 3 nights before confirming that Qi Shang was the clan's future hope, his formation path attainment could reach great grandmaster in the future. Qi Chuyu did not just say it, he acted on it, nurturing Qi Shang with a lot of resources from the clan. With the clan's help, Qi Shang's cultivation level rose rapidly, he became an immortal. In a few decades, he became a rank 7 Gu immortal. Even though he became an immortal, his living habits did not change at all. He was still invested in formation path, he continued to research it endlessly, his closed cultivations lasted from years to over a decade. The only shocking thing was that he pursued Xiao Si Lu with a firm attitude. When news got out, Qi clan was taken aback, to think that other than formation path, Qi Shang actually liked women. After getting Wu clan's intelligence, Fang Yuan thought that Qi Shang was an interesting person. With this knowledge, he used a special method to deal with Qi Shang instead. He did not meet with Qi Shang earlier, it was part of Fang Yuan's scheme. He purposely used the formation path problem to challenge him, that was the second step, and this third step was the banquet. Qi Shang's performance was not out of Fang Yuan's expectations. Everything progressed according to plan. Not long ago, Xiao Si Lu had sent a letter according to Fang Yuan's expectations. As the person involved, Xiao Si Lu had to express her attitude clearly. Even though she did not state it, in the letter, she talked about her first encounter with Qi Shang. According to Xiao Si Lu, back then, she visited Qi clan with Xiao clan's orders, she was attended to by Qi clan first supreme elder's son, Gu immortal Qi Bang. But to think that this Qi Bang was hitting on Xiao Si Lu by using the beautiful scenery and some poems. If this were normal times, Xiao Si Lu might not get mad, but now, she was the envoy from Xiao clan, Qi Bang's actions were disrespectful to Xiao clan, Xiao Si Lu felt resentment towards him. To deal with him, Xiao Si Lu purposely got closer to Qi Shang. Qi Bang was Qi Chuyu's son, the supposed next first supreme elder of Qi clan, he had the second highest authority in the clan, nobody dared to trifle with him except the formation devotee Qi Shang. Qi Shang did not know about the issue, he had no interest in Xiao Si Lu initially, but she purposely talked to him about formation path, and even explained some of Xiao clan's formation path knowledge. Qi Shang was deeply attracted, he gained a lot of interest. Xiao Si Lu used Qi Shang to deal with Qi Bang. Qi Bang could not do anything, he could only apologize to Xiao Si Lu secretly. Xiao Si Lu completed the clan's mission and returned in success, also gaining a suitor in Qi Shang. Xiao Si Lu's letter gave Fang Yuan important information, he gained a clearer understanding of Qi clan's internal affairs. Qi clan's first supreme elder has limited lifespan, he can no longer use lifespan Gu, but his son, Qi Bang, became an immortal due to his protection, he has limited capability. Qi Chuyu knows about his son's abilities, but he wants him to become Qi clan's future first supreme elder, thus, after noticing Qi Shang's personality and talent, he decided to invest in him and nurture this formation devotee. As long as the formation devotee protects him, Qi Bang will have a good chance of staying first supreme elder. And the formation devotee's admiration and gratitude towards Qi Chuyu will make him unable to escape the control of Qi Bang. Kinship, hehe. Xiao Si Lu's letter showed Qi clan's internal political conflicts to Fang Yuan. And because of this problem, a genius like Qi Shang emerged. At the same time, some questions that Fang Yuan had was answered. Come. Wu Yi Hai, let me toast you. At this time, Qi Shang toasted Fang Yuan for the first time, breaking his train of thought. Qi Shang continued, you are a very sincere person, when Fairy Si Lu and I get together, you do not need to be too upset. You are very talented, there are lots of women in the world, but few are well learned about formation path. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1332, Happy Host and Guest. Chapter 1332, Happy Host and Guest. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Qi Shang drank a lot, his face was red, he spoke a lot. It seemed that after defeating Fang Yuan in this contest, his confidence had risen sharply, he felt that he could obtain the love of his life. Gu immortals had all sorts of methods to prevent getting drunk. But that way, the joy of drinking would be gone, and it was very rude to their drinking buddies. Fang Yuan quickly raised his cup, drinking the wine as he smiled, if that is the case, I will admit I am unlucky, it was too bad that I had a competitor like you. Sigh. Fang Yuan sighed to himself, as if lamenting that the heavens saw fit to put someone so gifted in his way, he expressed that sentiment fully in his act. Qi Shang laughed loudly, stretching out his arm and patting Fang Yuan's shoulder, consoling him. Fang Yuan laughed internally. This Qi Shang was so innocent and pure. This matter was decided long ago. As long as Fang Yuan agreed, Xiao Si Lu would enter his embrace, this was a certain thing. But Xiao Si Lu did not express her intention clearly, because this fairy had her schemes and pride, she wanted to play hard to get, so as to raise her own value. Actually, Fang Yuan could tell very clearly. Like this time, Xiao Si Lu's letter was the expression of her attitude. Xiao Si Lu is seeing that Qi Shang and I are competing, she is very happy about it. Earlier, she had been watching on the fence, this suited her intentions. When I lost, she then took the initiative to tell me about the situation between her and Qi Shang. She wants to console me and let me know that she has no feelings for Qi Shang. It was his one-sided affection. But this clever woman did not state her attitude clearly, she just talked about a fact to show her purity, while showing that she had a lot of value to her suitors. It was natural instinct for men to pursue women. How many men pursued her, and the type of men that went after her, these somewhat determined the perceived value of a woman. Xiao Si Lu is seeking to be with me, this is not her personal wish, but the political desire of Qiao clan. And with just this, I am already ahead of all her suitors. No matter how many times I fail, no matter how many women I go after, no matter how weak I am, even if I make a scene like during the Moon Festival, so what? I am already victorious. In fact, even if I go after another woman instead of Xiao Si Lu, she will turn around and pursue me instead. Of course, this is not love, this is politics. Fang Yuan sneered in his mind, he had seen through everything. But he could not accept this love from Xiao Si Lu. Once he accepted it, he would be dragged into this vicious political spiral. He would no longer be simply Wu Yi-hai, he would be the key pawn that Xiao clan had inserted into Wu clan to fight for their own benefits. Wu Yong would no longer give him such a relaxed environment like now, he would keep Fang Yuan under close observation, suppressing him and maintaining alertness against this brother. If that happened, would Fang Yuan be able to enter the dream realms easily? Evidently, he could not, he might even get exposed. And that would lead to greater problems. Once Fang Yuan's identity was exposed, he would face the attacks of Qiao clan, because they were a righteous path force, they had to keep a clear distance from Fang Yuan, and Wu clan and Qiao clan would try to defend their own reputation by going after Fang Yuan with all their effort, far more than the other clans. However, even though I cannot accept it, and won't accept it, I can make use of this love. Using Xiao Si Lu, Fang Yuan would make Wu Yong more alert, he would arrange for Fang Yuan to be sent back to the Super Gu formation, Fang Yuan's goal would be achieved. Of course, there was nothing perfect in this world, even though this method was brilliant, it had its drawbacks. Wu Yong's alertness, Luo Muzi, Luan Fei, and Qi Shang, as well as Xiao Si Lu's other suitors were all lingering problems. There was pure love in this world, but it was indeed rare. When people lived in this world, they had to consider many things. Xiao Si Lu's beauty, background, cultivation level and others, these were alluring temptations. Among her suitors, Qi Shang was the purest, but he still considered the element of formation path, not to mention the others. As for Fang Yuan, he was the most special one. Qi Shang's arrival was not out of Fang Yuan's expectations. In fact, he was mentally prepared. Even without Qi Shang, others were going to come and find problems. Even if they did not come now, they would in the future. Because Fang Yuan was approaching Xiao Si Lu, and the benefits associated with her, he angered many people. Among these people, there were suitors, and there were forces behind them after the benefits. As the saying goes, beautiful women are trouble. A beauty was not easy to pursue. Only a naive person would think of using love and emotions to conquer a beauty. Actually, there was far more. A woman's beauty was her natural dowry. This dowry was extremely valuable, it was a huge amount of wealth. Who would not want such wealth? But not everyone could protect this wealth. If a beauty was willing to give this wealth to her partner out of pure love, then this lucky person should treat her well. But the truth was, such situations were too few. If it happened, treasure it, if it didn't, don't bank on it. This was not unseemly. This was reality. When Fang Yuan returned to the Super Gu formation, he started to think of how to settle the aftermath of this. A true chess master would consider many steps ahead before even moving. In fact, when Fang Yuan decided to use Xiao Si Lu's love to achieve his goals, he had already started to think of how to resolve the fallout of this issue. If he handled it badly, Qi Shang would be only the first one here. The second, third, and so on, these people would be unending. This would be huge interference for Fang Yuan's exploration of the dream realm. At the same time, Wu Yihai's identity restricted Fang Yuan greatly in dealing with these challenges, he could not expose himself during the process. Fang Yuan needed to resolve this problem carefully and accurately. How? It was difficult, and yet easy. He would create a target, someone who would attract the attention of those suitors. Fang Yuan had been expecting people to find trouble with him. Qi Shang came here at such an opportune time, Fang Yuan was secretly happy about it. When he looked through Qi Shang's information, his joy increased by several times. His opponent's stupidity was his own fortune. Of course, there was a point, such stupidity had nothing to do with IQ or EQ. There was a clear example from Earth, it was Yu Fei. 1. Yu Fei went on a campaign, and when he was about to succeed, the emperor he served used 12 golden plaques to recall him back to the capital, and executed him on false charges. The reason? Was the emperor being stupid? He was. But were the emperor and officials idiots? They were not. If Yu Fei succeeded in his campaign, the reputation of his personal army would rise greatly, the emperor's authority would be lower than this general, the threat was too big. And most importantly, if Yu Fei won, he would bring back the former emperor. Then what would the current emperor do? And now, Qi clan's first supreme elder, Qi Chuyu, intentionally nurtured a Gu immortal like Qi Shang. Was he senile? Did he not know that a person like Qi Shang, who was focused on researching formation path and had no capabilities in political conflicts, would eventually become a tool that was used? He was not senile, of course. He nurtured Qi Shang extensively precisely because he knew this. Because his son needed to be the first supreme elder, he needed a tool to assist his son. Qi Shang was the chosen one. Many people thought that Qi Shang was Fang Yuan's problem. But that was not the case from Fang Yuan's perspective. He felt like this was an opportunity. If he handled this well, he would resolve all the future problems ahead. He would be able to peacefully explore the dream realm and raise his foundation for the following period of time. Thus, Fang Yuan had to lose. If he did not lose, how would he create the bigger threat than himself, Qi Shang? Without this meat shield, how would he divert all of the attention away? Qi Shang was the easiest to plot against. From his information, Fang Yuan knew that Qi Shang loved to research formation path. He was most skilled in answering problems, and creating the necessary Gu formations. Fang Yuan thus challenged him using this. As a researcher, Qi Shang had his unique pride in this domain he was specialized in. He could ignore everything else. He did not pay attention to his appearance, nor did he have any interest in fortune, but he cared about this. Because this was the meaning of his life. Fang Yuan, a transformation path Gu immortal, was using this to challenge him. This was a huge slap on Qi Shang's face to begin with. How could Qi Shang endure this? He could not. Thus, he fell into the trap that Fang Yuan had set. He could not climb out. Not only was he stuck in the trap, he even toasted Fang Yuan, feeling that Fang Yuan was a very sincere person. You are a competitor, but what can I say? We are truly friends made after a fight, haha. Qi Shang laughed, placing his arm around Fang Yuan's shoulder. Enough talking, let's drink. Fang Yuan gulped. Qi Shang stared at Fang Yuan with wide eyes. He gave a thumbs up and said, "Brother, you are so cool. Let's drink." Both sides continued to empty their cups. Good wine. Qi Shang sighed, to speak the truth, this is the first time I am drinking so much. Fang Yuan laughed heartily, but he was unmoved inside. The wine of the righteous path was not so easy to drink. The demonic path fought and killed, they were direct in their actions. The banquets of the righteous path was shrouded in rumors and suspicions, they were filled with schemes and plots, all sorts of devious thoughts were like undercurrents, waiting to sweep unknowing prey into the abyss. Fang Yuan lost the challenge to Qi Shang, but he was very happy. He spread news about this. So what if he lost? Sometimes, losing was a way to achieve one's goals. Qi Shang was also very happy. He felt that this was the happiest he had ever been in a banquet. At once, both the host and guest were happy. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1333, Plunder Shadow. Chapter 1333, Plunder Shadow. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. A joyous banquet was not the end, it was the beginning. Fang Yuan and Qi Shang became good friends. For the next few days, Fang Yuan frequently invited Qi Shang, and Qi Shang often came to Wu clan's territory to visit Fang Yuan. It was both easy and difficult to get close to someone and create a good relationship. The key was simply lowering the status of oneself and accommodating to the other party's wishes. Fang Yuan was an old schemer, with attitude Gu in his possession. how could Qi Shang be his match? Qi Shang was the formation devotee, he was not interested in ordinary Gu immortals. But Fang Yuan was a formation path quasi-grandmaster, he had a connection to this formation path grandmaster. Both parties conversed on the topic of formation path. Qi Shang was soon amazed with Fang Yuan's formation path attainment, he expressed his doubt at this. Because Fang Yuan was a transformation path cultivator. But Fang Yuan told him, I had always been interested in formation path, when I was a mortal, I researched formation path and primarily cultivated it due to some fortuitous encounters. But circumstances in life forced twists and turns, later, I had to become a transformation path Gu immortal. But I am already very lucky, after all, how many lone cultivators can become immortal? This helplessness made Qi Shang sigh deeply, he felt a deep sense of compassion towards Fang Yuan. If you want to cultivate formation path, I can help you. Qi clan has a few formation path Gu immortals, I can intervene and transact formation path immortal Gu for you. Qi Shang stated. It was not easy for him to offer this. This proved that Fang Yuan's hard work had paid off. It was possible to change paths, but the vital Gu had to be changed too. Fang Yuan looked very moved, if I want to change paths in the future, I will find you for help. Qi Shang nodded, by then, just tell me. He knew that it was not easy for a Gu immortal to change paths, it could not be done quickly, this was a huge matter and needed a lot of aspects to be considered. There were also negative repercussions on the immortal aperture as well. While interacting with Qi Shang, Fang Yuan gained a lot of benefits. Even though his attainment level did not increase, Fang Yuan's knowledge did, his basic understanding of formation path had been supplemented, it was of huge help to him. Fang Yuan gained a more comprehensive and deeper understanding of formation path. What was the difference between Gu formations and killer moves? Qi Shang told Fang Yuan, Gu formations are a type of killer move. Killer moves use multiple Gu worms at the same time, Gu formations are the same. Gu formations are the killer moves of formation path, each Gu formation is a different killer move. Thus, formation path is the path with the most killer moves among all paths. Of course, Gu formations and killer moves have slight differences in details. For example, Gu formations last a longer time. And after a Gu formation is set up, the amount of mental energy the Gu master uses up also decreases. What is the essence of formation path? Fang Yuan asked Qi Shang. Qi Shang shook his head, even though I am a formation path grandmaster, I have insufficient attainment level to talk about the essence of formation path. But my clan's Lord Qi Chu you had once told me, the essence of formation path is to create environments. Fang Yuan heard this and felt deeply enlightened. The Gu formation of the coiling thread caves was precisely to nurture more regretful spiders by creating a new habitat and environment for them, right? It seems that formation path great grandmasters can use the natural Dao marks of the surroundings to use fewer Gu worms in setting up their Gu formations. In some places with abundant natural Dao marks, just using mortal Gu can form an immortal Gu formation. Is that true? Fang Yuan asked Qi Shang again. Qi Shang nodded, explaining patiently, that is true. But actually, at our level, we can only use Dao marks. Some Gu formations are not just built on the foundation of Gu worms but also Gu materials. But we can only use the Dao marks inside the immortal materials to set up the Gu formation. After a long time passes, these immortal materials will be destroyed. Formation path great grandmasters are one step ahead, not only can they use immortal and mortal materials, they can also use the Dao marks of the surroundings according to the environment. This conversation was a huge inspiration to Fang Yuan. Thereafter, he attended to Qi Shang even more enthusiastically. Fang Yuan soon realized that banquets were not very effective at improving their relationship, he might as well converse with him about formation path. Sometimes, an intense discussion would incite the passion in Qi Shang's heart, and make him feel closer to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan also had another trump card, he wrote letters to Xiaoxi Lu. Every time he wrote a letter, he would praise Qi Shang and exclaim about his shocking formation path talent, and his incredible ingenuity. Qi Shang was getting embarrassed from being praised. He looked at Fang Yuan in a different light. He thought that this person was truly a gentleman, conducting himself uprightly and with an open mind. Returning the favor, he also wrote letters to Xiao Si Lu, praising Fang Yuan deeply, saying that he cultivated transformation path and even formation path alongside it. His attainment was so deep that he felt great admiration and surprise at it. Xiao Si Lu. She looked at the letters she received. She felt that these two suitors were praising each other so much that they had forgotten about her. She did not expect to see this situation. While she rolled her eyes to herself, she also wrote back letters of praise, especially towards their open-mindedness. Undeniably, Fang Yuan and Qi Shang turned from enemies to friends. This transformation made everyone watching from the side feel deeply shocked. Southern Border, Plunder Shadow Earth Trench. This was a famous earth trench in Southern Border, because it had countless fierce dark path beasts, as well as shadow monsters that were renowned in Southern Border. At the same time, this was also one of the most dangerous places in Southern Border. Right now, deep within this Plunder Shadow Earth Trench, inside a certain cave. Ah! A crazed old man with purple hair and messy clothes was running around barefoot in the cave, while screaming and making a din. Plop! Suddenly, he fell to the ground, and his body started to twist as he started to crawl like an earthworm. After moving for a while, he suddenly stood up, laughing sheepishly. But a moment later, his laughter stopped, his cloudy eyes regained clarity. Lord Purple, you are awake. Wu Xie suddenly appeared in the cave. He sighed with a complex expression. This crazed old man was Purple. Shadow Sect's party of 4 had vanished after the Battle of Reverse Flow River. They had returned to Southern Border at some point in time. They had even entered deep into Plunder Shadow Earth Trench. Purple sighed deeply. He patted the soil on his body shrunk to his mini-man form with miniature wings. Call me Purple Mountain True Monarch, this will help our future actions. Purple Mountain True Monarch said, what information do you have now? Wu Xie said, Southern Border's political situation is progressing according to our plan. But it is a pity, Qi Shang and Wu Yihai did not have an intense conflict, they even became good friends. Oh. Purple Mountain True Monarch was slightly surprised. After looking at the information, he nodded, this Wu Yihai is quite interesting. He primarily cultivates transformation path but also has enough formation path attainment to gain Qi Shang's approval. This would help him, but he could not defy Wu Yong. He was sent to the Super Gu formation again. Wu Xie nodded. Wu Yong is a rank 8 Gu immortal with great authority now. Wu Yihai had just returned not long ago. He did not even join with Xiao clan, and cannot get their full support. But this proves further that even though Wu Yihai is a lone cultivator, he has great ambitions. Because he got close to Xiao Si Lu, yet he did not get together with her, it shows that he has not agreed on the profit distribution with Xiao clan yet. Is his ambition something we can make use of? Purple Mountain True Monarch thought about it. We might be able to make use of this, but we know too little about this person. Right now, our plans on Wu clan should focus on Wu Yong. Wu clan is the #1 force in Southern Border. They are the pillar of the righteous path. If they fall, Southern Border would have huge political turmoil. By then, we will take advantage of it and destroy the Super Gu formation. We will be able to save our main body. It turned out that Wu clan's political problems were not simple. Shadow Sect was behind them, causing many of the situations. So what if Southern Border's politics get into chaos? Bai Ningbing appeared outside the cave, having a cold expression. With just the 4 of us, even if the Super Gu formation only has 4 Gu immortals defending it, it will be difficult. Furthermore, our main fighting strength is so unstable. Bai Ningbing spoke without any politeness. Even against the rank 8 Purple Mountain True Monarch. She was fearless, because when Fang Yuan chased after them, she had already set a new alliance agreement with Wu Xie and the others. They were of equal status. And Purple Mountain True Monarch's constant insanity made the respect in her heart dwindle. Purple Mountain True Monarch was unmoved, smiling. Political unrest is not enough, of course, these righteous path forces are not stupid. But this is just to weaken the strength of the righteous path in the Super Gu formation. The four of us are not enough, we are too short on manpower, so now, we will recruit people. Recruit people? Xianxia was surprised. There are still hidden cards in southern border that I do not know about. Because he knew that southern border's shadow sect forces were heavily crippled. If they wanted to attack the Super Gu formation, these new members needed to have high power level. Ordinary rank 6 Gu immortals were simply useless. But such people would definitely have been recruited when Xianxia was facing Fang Yuan's pursuit earlier. Or even further back, if such people existed, when Spectral Soul defied heaven to refine Sovereign Immortal Fetus Gu, they would have been used already, to deal with Central Continent's Gu immortals. Purple Mountain True Monarch nodded, before shaking his head. Do you too know why I fall into insanity sometimes? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1334, Assimilating with Heaven's Will. Chapter 1334, Assimilating with Heaven's Will. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Purple Mountain True Monarch suddenly changed the topic. Bai Ningbing did not speak, while Xianxia asked, is it not the interference of Heaven's will? Purple Mountain True Monarch nodded, it is Heaven's will indeed, but I was the one who initiated it. What do you mean? Bai Ningbing heard this and showed shock on her face. Hearing Purple Mountain True Monarch's words, it seemed like his insanity was due to his own actions. Purple Mountain True Monarch sighed eerily. Scenes of the past drifted in his mind. In the past, along with the other first-generation split souls, we found the major enemy was Heaven's will, and tried to find ways to deal with it. I cultivated wisdom path, I was the leader of the split souls, I had to be the one to find a way to deal with Heaven's will. Using a part of the true inheritance of star constellation Immortal Venerable that we found, and together with my wisdom path attainment, I devised a method that was to assimilate with Heaven's will. Assimilate with Heaven's will? Bai Ningbing and Xianxia looked at each other, frowning. That's right, Heaven's will is vast and immense, it is everywhere. Back then, we had just started to interact with it, we did not know as many secrets and weaknesses of it as now. Back then, we were greatly restricted, the situation was worsening and getting more dangerous every day. More and more members died after being targeted by Heaven's will, hope was turning bleak. Purple Mountain True Monarch continued, left without a choice, I used this method that was not a proper solution. Since the enemy was so powerful, I pretended to surrender and infiltrate the enemy to obtain intelligence about it. After all, know yourself and your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Bai Ningbing and Xianxia's eyes shone. Even now, they could see the innovation of this method. Heaven's will was formless, Purple Mountain True Monarch actually wanted to infiltrate Heaven's will, it was truly an incredible idea. Purple Mountain True Monarch did not just think about it, he did it. Purple Mountain True Monarch continued explaining, Heaven's will, you must be clear of it. When grotto heavens devour fragments of the 9 heavens, Heaven's will enters, and any heavenly spirit inside would turn dull and robotic. The heavenly spirit becomes like this, it's similar for Gu immortals. Every time I assimilate with Heaven's will, I will become crazy and lose my sense of reason. However, this is also why I can greatly reduce Heaven's will's intention of killing me, and am able to live until now. There is also one benefit of this, when I fuse with Heaven's will, I can clearly understand it and learn about its strengths and weaknesses. When I learn about Heaven's will's thoughts, I can see the planning of Heaven's will and am able to plot for myself and Shadow Sect. The principle of Heaven is to be merciless, it treats all beings as pawns. From the perspective of Heaven's will, all beings in this world are its chess pieces. And in this chessboard of destiny, there are some crucial points that attract my attention. Purple Mountain True Monarch's explanation made both Bai Ningbing and Xianxia deeply interested. Because they had already sensed that Purple Mountain True Monarch's following words were going to be very important. As expected, Purple Mountain True Monarch continued, I assimilated with Heaven's will, I found that in Heaven's will's arrangements, there were some very crucial pawns. So every time I went crazy, I would use Heaven's will to get close to these pawns, and by the time I regained my senses, I would try to turn them over to my side, and use my own power to make them my pieces. And in the battle not long ago, I believe you have already seen the use of one of these pawns. Bai Ningbing's body shook. Xianxia said in realization, Lord Purple Mountain True Monarch, you are talking about Tai Bai Yunsheng? Purple Mountain True Monarch nodded, that's right, Tai Bai Yunsheng was a crucial pawn in the chessboard of destiny. Even though Heaven's will arranged it, I managed to influence him and eventually used his power to allow you all to escape. Tai Bai Yunsheng had once met Purple Mountain True Monarch when he was a Gu master, obtaining his true inheritance. There were Heaven's will's arrangements on him, and also Purple Mountain True Monarch's influence. Thus, when Fang Yuan was used by Heaven's will to return to the past and overturn Spectral Soul's plan, Fang Yuan received Tai Bai Yunsheng's help during the process. Tai Bai Yunsheng submitted to Fang Yuan. One of the reasons was Fang Yuan's own intelligence. The other factor was Heaven's will. But later, Tai Bai Yunsheng separated from Fang Yuan, helping Shadow Sect instead. This was because Fang Yuan betrayed Heaven's will. At the crucial moment, he did not destroy sovereign immortal fetus Gu, he used it for himself. Tai Bai Yunsheng thus helped Shadow Sect greatly as a result of Purple Mountain True Monarch's influence. Tai Bai Yunsheng died in battle. On the surface, it was due to Fang Yuan, but from another perspective, this was the sacrificial piece from the conflict between Shadow Sect and Heaven's will. Xianxia heard this and finally understood Purple Mountain True Monarch's intent. He called out, I get it, all these years, Lord Purple Mountain True Monarch has traveled the world, you influenced many crucial pawns, and now, they will be the strength to break the Super Gu formation and rescue our main body. Purple Mountain True Monarch smiled lightly, precisely. Southern border, Super Gu formation. Sovereign immortal aperture, mini central continent. An intense jade green light shot into the sky with an alluring fragrance. Countless Gu worms were flying around in the jade light, just one look would make a person dizzy. Fang Yuan maintained a high level of concentration. As time passed, a portion of the Gu worms stopped flying, they landed and fell underground. More and more Gu worms went underground, they started to shine and resonated with the previous Gu worms, creating a mystical power. The jade pillar of light shrunk and got fainter. At Fang Yuan's will, an immortal Gu flew out. This Gu resembled a round pearl, it was as large as a goose egg, the pearl had countless markings on it that were moving around, they were brilliant like a blooming field of lotuses, or the rumbling of clouds. It was rank 6 immortal Gu blood asset. Fang Yuan breathed roughly, the arrangement of the Gu formation had reached its most crucial moment. Blood asset immortal Gu slowly floated into the jade light. Almost instantly, the jade light was dyed by blood asset immortal Gu and turned blood red. The red light got stronger and stronger, several breaths later, it reached an intensity that was on par with the jade light earlier. Fang Yuan let out a breath, the most crucial step was over, he just had to follow the routine now. The bright red pillar weakened before dissipating, but the fragrance still remained in the air, permeating the cave below. This cave was huge, it was around 200,000 square meters. Deep underground, there was a few li of distance. The cave was not completely sealed, there were 100 tunnels that resembled air vents, connecting the cave to the outside world. On the surface of the ground, there were countless holes that were dark and deep, but they gave off fragrance. The Gu formation for the coiling thread caves is arranged. The creation of the coiling thread caves is half done. Next, I have to move those regretful spiders over and start nurturing them. This process would require the modification of the Gu formation, in a month or two, I will be done. Fang Yuan was filled with joy. Qi Shang left this place and returned to Qi clan, as Fang Yuan continued his Dream Realm exploration. In the Formation Path Dream Realm earlier, there were 2 scenes left, they were solved by Fang Yuan's Unravel Dream Killer move. As he had expected, Fang Yuan's Formation Path attainment level reached Grandmaster. Using his Formation Path Grandmaster attainment level, as well as the immense gains from interacting with Qi Shang, Fang Yuan easily deduced a brand new coiling thread Gu formation. This coiling thread Gu formation still used blood asset immortal Gu, and the effect was only doubled. Fang Yuan's initial Gu formation concept could multiply his gains by 8, but this was not solvable. There was no way of setting it up. Doubling it made Fang Yuan satisfied already. He still had a lot of accumulations left. He could use Unraveled Dream many times, and with Qi Shang leaving and diverting attention away from him, he could secretly explore dream realms now. Fang Yuan treasured this rare opportunity. In the following days, he gave an excuse of going into closed cultivation in order to delve into dream realms. Right as he was laboriously exploring dream realms, shocking news came out that shook the Gu immortals of all 5 regions. Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects and Heavenly Court had lost. They sent a powerful group to Northern Plains, but they did not manage to save Ma Hongyun and even had a crushing defeat. Out of the 3 rank 8 Gu immortals, Wei Lingyang, Myriad Tidal Dragon and Bai Chen Tian, 2 died while 1 went missing. The one who killed the rank 8 Gu immortals was Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's former steed, legendary immemorial desolate beast, Dog Tail Life Extending Ferret. But Central Continent had survivors too. Zhao Lianyun, Yu Yizi, Shi Zhengyi and the rest were saved by Wei Lingyang risking his life. They managed to hair-raisingly escape with their lives under the reinforcements of Central Continent later. This news made the entire world shocked. Central Continent's foundation and strength was publicly recognized as the strongest in all 5 regions. The 10 great ancient sects were super forces which governed Central Continent. Any one of them could defeat the average level of super clans or tribes in all 5 regions. And Heavenly Court was in charge of the 10 great ancient sects. Not only did it rule Central Continent, its influence extended to the other 4 regions. Its status in the hearts of Central Continent's people was unshakable. In the hearts of the people in the other 4 regions, it was the #1 force in the world. After all, it had 3 immortal venerables that were in it. Which force in this world could match it? But this extremely powerful Heavenly Court actually lost in Northern Plains. After their shock, everyone learned about more information and expressed their understanding. Because it was traditionally known that Northern Plains was tough and had high battle strength, and this time, Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's descendants, Longevity Heaven, were the ones who fought. As for Heavenly Court's defeat, they had ventured into another region. Their true strength had not been used. In fact, the group from Heavenly Court that went to Northern Plains was not just fighting Longevity Heaven, they also fought against old ancestor Xuehu. But regardless of the reasons, they had lost. The reputations of Longevity Heaven and Giant Sun Immortal Venerable soared, while those of Heavenly Court and the 10 great ancient sects fell drastically. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1335, Heavenly Court's Countermeasure. Chapter 1335, Heavenly Court's Countermeasure. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Wei Lingyang and Bai Chen Tian died while Myriad Tidal Dragon escaped. Fang Yuan muttered. Information was transmitted to him. In this Super Gu formation, he was the person with the clearest understanding of that situation. Looking at the date, it is about time. Heavenly Court went to Northern Plains Gu Immortal World, which was represented by Longevity Heaven. Central Continent was dealt a huge blow as a result. Dog Tail Life Extending Ferret, as expected of Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's steed, its battle strength is truly fearsome. Even though this raises Northern Plains morale, it is not a problem for Heavenly Court. With the 500 years of his previous life, and experiencing the first half of the 5 regions' chaotic war, Fang Yuan knew that Heavenly Court had immensely deep foundation. Compared to it, Longevity Heaven was just Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's Grotto Heaven. Its foundation was far less abundant. This kind of event is incredibly rare. It had never happened in my previous life. After this, Northern Plains and Central Continent are basically enemies, or rather, Longevity Heaven and Heavenly Court are on opposite sides. And now, will Heavenly Court take revenge? If they do, it will be very interesting. Fang Yuan thought in his mind, continuing to deduce and try to find out the possible political outcomes. Longevity Heaven came from Giant Sun Immortal Venerable, while Heavenly Court had 3 immortal venerables. They were all righteous path forces. To think that they would attack each other so harshly. Right now, the Gu immortals of all 5 regions, and all the different forces, were focused on this matter. They were focusing on Heavenly Court's reaction. According to conventional reasoning, Heavenly Court had to counterattack, because it was the #1 Gu immortal organization in the 5 regions. If it did not do anything, its reputation would fall. But the 5 regional walls prevented any large-scale war between Gu immortals. And most people did not know about Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's luck suppression Heavenly Palace. It was too difficult for Heavenly Court to attack. Thus, whether it attacked or not, it had its own excuses. And no matter what Heavenly Court chose, its next step would decide the direction that the 5 regions would progress towards. Fang Yuan let out a sigh. He had predicted this long ago. Heavenly Court sent Gu immortals to save Ma Hongyun. They would definitely face the obstruction of Northern Plains Gu immortals. After Central Continent's Gu immortals failed the rescue, they escaped back to Central Continent, and this battle, which had lasted a long time, finally reached a conclusion. But when he received news of this, Fang Yuan felt something amiss. There was something wrong. But he could not state what the problem was. Perhaps, because everyone has changed so much because of my actions, there were too many chain reactions, and the advantage of my rebirth is shrinking, so I am feeling increasingly uneasy. The radiance of Dream Realm shone on Fang Yuan's face, his expression became dark and uncertain. No matter what, increasing my strength is most important. Dream Realm, here I come. Regardless of the situation outside, or how treacherous or uncertain it was, as long as he got stronger, Fang Yuan would feel safer. His soul entered the dream. Regaining his senses, Fang Yuan quickly found out that he was in the wilderness. Night time. The crescent moon emitted a cold light. Wild dogs were barking. Fang Yuan was immobile. He was carried by 2 people from the front and back. What is the matter? Realizing that he could not move, Fang Yuan started to assess the situation around him. Grunt grunt. Sounds that resembled a pig eating entered Fang Yuan's ears. He soon realized that this weird sound came from the 2 who were carrying him. These 2 weird people carried Fang Yuan until halfway up the mountain. The dark clouds in the sky faded. Using the cold moonlight, Fang Yuan found that the 2 strange people holding him up were not humans, they were 2 boar-headed beast men. In the current world, beast men are extinct. Since beast men appeared in this dream realm, what era is this? A question appeared in Fang Yuan's mind. Fang Yuan felt something amiss. He started to struggle, but he soon realized that he was extremely weak. He was heavily injured. He struggled intensely, but he only managed to move his body slightly. Gur! Gur! The 2 boar-headed beast men noticed Fang Yuan's movement and started to growl. Oh no! Fang Yuan cried out internally. But the 2 beast men were faster. They suddenly let go. Fang Yuan fell to the ground. The intense pain almost made Fang Yuan faint on the spot. Using his firm determination and willpower, Fang Yuan forced his eyes open and saw that the boar-headed beast man in front of him raised his leg. He stomped on Fang Yuan's face as the shape of the boar leg enlarged in Fang Yuan's vision. Bam! At the next moment, Fang Yuan's entire head was smashed like a watermelon. Blood flowed out with brain matter scattering everywhere. F***CK. The dream realm exploration ended. Fang Yuan's soul was injured. He was forced out. This means, I need to wait for my chance. I cannot act rashly. Fang Yuan thought as he used Daoist Gu to heal himself. Unravel Dream had limited usage in numbers. The Nightmare Demonic Cult Immortal materials had already been expended. But Daoist Gu was different. As long as he had Dang Hun Mountain, Daoist Gu was infinite in supply. Thus, Fang Yuan was more willing to use Daoist Gu and suffer soul injuries than use Unravel Dream unnecessarily. Soon, Fang Yuan's soul healed, and he entered the dream realm again. This time, Fang Yuan did not move. He allowed the 2 boar-headed beast men to carry him halfway up the mountain. Gur gur. At a certain point, the boar-headed beast men stopped as one of them grunted. The other one lifted Fang Yuan's legs as he walked up. Using the moonlight, Fang Yuan could see that these two boar-headed beast men were on the edge of a cliff. Oh no! Fang Yuan was about to struggle when these two boar-headed beast men tossed Fang Yuan down the cliff. Fang Yuan rapidly fell down the cliff. This is... His eyes were wide opened. The bottom of the cliff was a mass grave. Countless corpses were casually lying around. The rotten corpses had a thick mist of foul-smelling odor around them. Before Fang Yuan could think anymore, plop. With a loud sound, Fang Yuan fell to the bottom of the cliff. He was crushed into meat paste. He was dead with a ruined corpse left behind. Fang Yuan was forced out of the dream realm again. This dream realm, what is it exactly? While Fang Yuan was exploring the dream realm, in Central Continent, Heavenly Court. Lord Duke Long, please. An old woman spoke. She had a hunched back, she was bending down, her hair was yellow like wheat, her face was wrinkled and her eyes were blurry. She wore a yellow-brown robe, there was a ring of sand around her waist. She was standing before Duke Long reverently. Duke Long was no longer in a weak state after taking away Di Zongsheng's life force. He was mighty and commanding now. He had regained his demeanor as the apex of a legend. At this moment, he was looking at the tower in front of him as he nodded. Granny Xia, you did well. This tower was Heaven Overseeing Tower. A rank 9 immortal Gu house. It had incredible reputation, it was famous throughout history. Even though it was shattered in southern border, most of the immortal Gu were preserved. After it was sent back to Heavenly Court, Gu immortal Granny Xia woke up and had been refining Gu, repairing Heaven Overseeing Tower. Right now, her work was done. Heaven Overseeing Tower was repaired completely. Lord Duke Long, please. Granny Xia led the way. Duke Long and Fairy Zi Wei followed, entering Heaven Overseeing Tower. The white jade stairs spiraled upwards. It was no different from before. But Heaven Overseeing Tower had not activated, so Duke Long and the others went up without anything happening. When they got to the top of Heaven Overseeing Tower, the three Gu immortals saw an immortal Gu. This immortal Gu gave off an intense rank 9 aura. It was like a spider, colored in black and white. There was a scarlet wound on its body that almost cut it in two. What else was it but rank 9 Fate Immortal Gu? This Fate Immortal Gu was damaged by Red Lotus Demon Venerable using the power of Love Immortal Gu. It almost died. But after the hard work of generations of Heavenly Court's members, it had finally recovered to 50% during the last Central Continent Refinement Path Convention. After reaching this point of qualitative change, Fate Immortal Gu's recovery speed was many times that of before. Right now, even without success Dao marks, it had recovered to 60% due to Granny Xia's hard work. Good, very good, Granny Xia, you have contributed greatly to Heavenly Court, you have contributed greatly to humanity. I am sure that when Heavenly Court rules the 5 regions, your merits will be recorded in history and be revered by all descendants in the future. Duke Long sighed with an appreciative tone. Granny Xia smiled, I am flattered, Lord Duke Long, I was merely contributing my meager strength. Furthermore, repairing Heaven Overseeing Tower was that old man's wish too. He he he. Granny Xia laughed continuously as her body turned into sand while she laughed. A wind started blowing from nowhere, causing the sand to scatter in the air. Rank 8 Gu Immortal Granny Xia, Refinement Path Great Grandmaster, had died at this moment. She had little lifespan to begin with. When the previous generation Heaven Overseeing Tower Lord died, she woke up from shock, and contributed the last spark of her life to Heavenly Court. Silence. Another Heavenly Court rank 8 Gu Immortal had sacrificed herself. During this period of time, Heavenly Court had sacrificed many members. Fairy Zi Wei's eyes were slightly red. Duke Long's expression did not change, his body was straight like a ruler. He spoke. In the passage of history, generations of Heavenly Court's Gu immortals have sacrificed themselves like this, to give a bright future to our descendants. Wei Ling Yang, Bai Chen Tian, they were sacrificed, Granny Xia was sacrificed, and in the future, the two of us will do the same. Why has Heavenly Court always been the top Gu immortal force? Other than the 3 immortal venerables, there is another important reason, that is, us Heavenly Court Gu immortals are not afraid of sacrificing ourselves. Because we know that humanity needs us, everyone needs us, heaven and earth need us. Fairy Ziwei breathed in deeply, trying to regain her calmness. Then, Lord Duke Long, what do we do now? Duke Long shut his eyes, before opening them again. The great era is beginning, some people cannot be allowed to live anymore. But that Fang Yuan, Ing Wu Xie, Purple, and others are all crafty, we have no idea where they are now. It is too tough to deduce their locations with the obstruction of regional walls. Fairy Ziwei had a worried expression. No need to worry. Duke Long waved his hand. No matter where they are now, we both know that they will go to one place, the giant dream realm in southern border. Forget about northern plains and longevity heaven, they are small problems. We have to get rid of these largest threats first. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1336, Part Man Part Beast, Zui Yi Hui. Chapter 1336, Part Man Part Beast, Zui Yi Hui. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Cold Moon and Desolate Mountain. 2 boar-headed beast men carried Fang Yuan up the mountain from the front and back. Fang Yuan continued to observe, he did not act rashly. My body is a rank 4 Gu master, I have an aperture in primeval essence but I have no Gu worms. And I am heavily injured and extremely weak, even if I am in a healthy state, without any Gu worms, I am no match for these 2 boar-headed beast men. However, once we get to the cliff, these 2 boar-headed beast men will toss me down. From this height, I will definitely die without the protection of any Gu worms, unless I had the sovereign immortal body. Thus, my only hope of survival is on this road up the mountain. Immortal Killer Move, Unravel Dream. After analyzing this, Fang Yuan used this trump card. After activating Unravel Dream, Fang Yuan saw immediate effect. He felt like he regained some strength at this instant. For example, he was like an adventurer who was about to die of thirst in the desert earlier, but now, he drank a few drops of water. There was an effect, but isn't the strength I recovered too little? Fang Yuan had no choice, he could only use Unravel Dream again. This time, some of his injuries had instantly formed scabs, the pain he was feeling became less intense. But on his chest and back, there were still several deep wounds where bones could be seen, they were not recovering. Unravel Dream. Unravel Dream. Unravel Dream. Fang Yuan had to use this immortal killer move continuously, his major injuries healed drastically, though they did not form scabs, his bleeding condition had ceased. He regained quite a bit of strength, his body had regained some warmth from its initial icy state. But this did not give Fang Yuan any notable battle strength. He was still immortal now, he had primeval essence but he could not fight any of the boar-headed beastmen alone. Moreover, there were 2 boar-headed beastmen, not just one. What is going on? Immortal Killer Move Unravel Dream's effect was so little. I used it 5 times but this is all I got. Fang Yuan looked at the cliff that he was reaching, he made up his mind, forget it, I should take action first. His body bounced up like a lobster. The 2 boar-headed beastmen were caught by surprise and he managed to get free from them. Fang Yuan landed on the ground, the tough rocks stabbed into his wounds as he almost fainted from pain. The 2 boar-headed beastmen had already reacted, they shouted as they pounced at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan used his profound fighting skills to dodge while escaping and running down the mountain. The 2 beastmen chased after him. In a while, the 2 boar beastmen found Fang Yuan. Plop. 2 white boar tusks stabbed into Fang Yuan's injuries on his back, penetrating out of his chest. Fang Yuan stopped moving, blood flowed out of his mouth. Soon after, his vision turned dark. When he opened his eyes, he was in a hall. He had returned to reality again, sent out of the dream realm. His face was pale, his soul was injured, but what made Fang Yuan surprised was this strange dream realm. This dream realm is the most difficult one I have ever been in. Even though it is a realistic dream realm, the difficulty is incredibly high. As of now, I have not even finished exploring the first scene, and I have already died multiple times. Unravel Dream is also extremely weak in there. What is going on? This problem made Fang Yuan very perplexed. He thought about it and could not deduce anything. He had to take a step back and think about how he could deal with the two beastmen and escape alive. The boar-headed beastmen have huge bodies. If I can enter the forest, it would be easier. But this desolate mountain has no trees around, there are not even any piles of rocks. I can only use Unravel Dream 5 times, any additional tries would have no effect. Even though it can allow me to regain my strength and stabilize my wounds, the effects are not much. It would be better to have a single goo worm. Furthermore, even if I have goo worms and a forest around, my stamina is limited, I cannot get far. After some analysis, Fang Yuan finally realized, so this dream realm forces me to fall to the bottom of the cliff? Entering the dream realm again. This time, Fang Yuan did not act rashly, he used Unravel Dream and preserved his strength and mental energy. When he was at the cliff, the two boar-headed beastmen tossed him over the cliff. But the point of difference was, in midair, Fang Yuan started to adjust his body, getting close to the cliff. Several breaths later, he saw some strange rocks on the wall, they were protruding out. There were also some trees that lived tenaciously on the cliff face. Bam! With a loud crash, Fang Yuan landed on a rock, his bones broke and he died. The speed of descent was too fast, my injuries were too severe, I died the moment I landed on a rock, it seems I need to land on the trees. Entering the dream realm again. Using this experience, Fang Yuan landed on a tree. Crack crack. Following the sounds of some breaking branches, Fang Yuan fell downwards after his body broke some branches. But this time, he fell much slower. He used his saws and arms to grab at the cliff wall and adjust his direction. The second tree. Plop. Fang Yuan landed on the tree trunk, he was pierced thoroughly by countless sharp leaves that were as long as an arm. He died on the spot. What is this tree? Fang Yuan was expelled from the dream realm again. After many tries, continuously using Daoist Gu and Unravel Dream. After dying 18 times in the dream realm, Fang Yuan finally landed at the bottom of the valley. But his injuries were too severe, his four limbs were unusable, only his right arm had some sensation left. He was bathed in blood as his injuries tore open again, his warm blood was flowing out continuously. His bones were mostly fractured, the intense pain was assaulting him like burning fire. But this was the best result that Fang Yuan could achieve after countless tries. Unravel Dream. Unravel Dream. Unravel Dream. Fang Yuan used Unravel Dream, after he got to the bottom of the valley, it could be used again. Fang Yuan's injuries healed a little, he could exert strength in his right arm, his left leg also regained some sensation, but his right leg was completely broken, it was twisted by his ankle at an awkward angle. Fang Yuan quickly inspected the situation around him as he looked around. There was a pile of corpses, like a mountain, flesh was rotting, the stench of corpses was dense as a mist, assaulting his nose. What do I do now? While Fang Yuan was dazed, he felt a strong Gu immortal aura above his head. Two variant human rank 7 Gu immortals appeared in the sky. They were both beast men, one had a boar head and human body, while another had a snake body and human head. Be careful, it's a big one down there. The Gu immortal with a snake body and human head said in a cold voice. Ha ha ha, big fellow, why are you sleeping, wake up. The boar head and human body Gu immortal laughed loudly. The two were not quiet, they purposely amplified their voices, they sounded like rumbling thunder, reverberating in the valley. Incited by this voice, an overwhelming aura burst out of the mist-like stench of corpses. Rumble. An intense aura burst out in the surroundings, all of the stench in the valley was blown away. A giant figure appeared in front of Fang Yuan. It was a giant. 7 to 8 stories tall. It was black in color, its black hair flowed like a cape, extending to its waist. Hidden by its hair were 2 bright red spots. It had awakened. The 2 Beastman Gu immortals were stunned by this aura. They were no longer arrogant, they were filled with anxiety and fear. Fang Yuan was the same. Because this monster's aura showed him, rank 8 Peak Gu immortal aura. But it seems like a man, and an immemorial desolate beast at the same time. Big fellow, go eat. That's right, this flesh and blood was obtained by our clan after many battles. The 2 Beastman Gu immortals urged. How many times have I said it? I have a name, I am Zui Hui. The black giant actually spoke, but it went back to eating after saying that. It stretched out its arms, corpses were grabbed by its monstrous hands as it stuffed them into its mouth. This is not good. Fang Yuan thought, at this rate, he was going to be eaten. Southern border, Black Demon Pit. Southern border had many mountains and many pits. Black Demon Pit was not eye-catching among all the pits, it was small and did not have many Dao marks. It produced some dark path resources, but for super forces, it was not useful, and for normal forces, the excavation was too tough. Thus, nobody came here. But at this moment, Purple Mountain True Monarch and the others came to Black Demon Pit. What are we doing here? Bai Ningbing looked around, she used the investigative method from Bai Xiang's true inheritance but could not see anything. Purple Mountain True Monarch did not answer her, he spoke seemingly at the air, I am here, act according to our agreement, previously, I passed you my true inheritance, you owe me a favor. Favor? What favor? A voice came from within the pit. Afterwards, an intense aura burst out, from weak to strong, in the blink of an eye, Bai Ningbing's, Ing Wu Xie's, and the others' expressions changed. Only Purple Mountain True Monarch remained calm as before, haven't you always wanted to be human? Sui Hui. Human. Oh, I remember now, you are that guy from back then. Right, back then, I helped you, you owe me a favor. I, Sui Hui, want to be human, I need to return the favor. Tell me, what help do you need? What you are most skilled at, eating humans. Ha ha ha, I am sick of eating normal humans. Don't worry, they are immortals, there might even be rank 8 Gu immortals. Purple Mountain True Monarch smiled. That's good. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know, report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1337, Mushroom Man Paradise, Dark Grandmaster. Chapter 1337, Mushroom Man Paradise, Dark Grandmaster. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Southern Border, Giant Dream Realm. Sui Hui. Hearing the name of this giant monster, Fang Yuan's heart shook intensely. This was an immemorial desolate beast with a mysterious origin, it had existed since 1,000,000 years ago, during the Olden Antiquity era. Every time it appeared, there would be endless slaughter and fighting. In terms of seniority, the dog-tail life-extending ferret from northern plains was merely a newcomer that rose to fame 300,000 years ago. Sui Hui, Yu Tian Guang, these two names were once placed side by side in human history. They were the nightmares of the Olden Antiquity era, Medieval Antiquity era, and Late Antiquity era. They were immemorial desolate beasts, but they possessed human forms, nobody knew why. Whenever they appeared, they would create endless slaughter, no matter which region, they would whip up a bloody storm. Even Central Continent's heavenly court could not exterminate them. They were extremely crafty, they worked together, and whenever a demon venerable or immortal venerable was alive, they would hide and not show up. Thankfully, when it was Paradise Earth Immortal Venerables era, the kindest immortal venerable throughout history was determined to get rid of these evils. He spent a lot of time and effort, finally locating these two legendary immemorial desolate beasts' hiding spot. After an intense battle, Yu Tianguang died, while Zui Hui was heavily injured. It managed to escape but it went missing. It was unknown if it was dead or alive. Zui Hui. I actually encountered this legendary immemorial desolate beast in a dream realm. Fang Yuan held in his shock. He continued to climb. Zui Hui was eating all of the corpses around it. In the surroundings of this beast, the mountain-like pile of corpses was pouring into its bloodthirsty mouth. Immortal killer move. This was obviously an immortal killer move. Its chewing alone could not allow it to eat at such a rapid speed. Fang Yuan was having a tough time. He was heavily injured and could not move fast. The speed of his climbing could not match the speed of suction by Zui Hui. He was dragged towards the center by these moving corpses. Suddenly, Zui Hui breathed in deeply. Intense winds blew. Fang Yuan was caught off guard and the winds blew him away, into Zui Hui's mouth. Zui Hui chewed rapidly. Fang Yuan was chomped up into meat paste by its sharp teeth. I died again. Fang Yuan returned to reality with his soul injuries. How do I pass this dream realm? This problem was like a giant boulder blocking Fang Yuan's advancement. He fell into deep contemplation. While he was brought up the mountain by the two boar-headed beast-men, Fang Yuan tried many ways but could not escape. He knew now that this dream realm was forcing him to enter the valley. But this valley was more dangerous than the boar-headed beast-men. Because a legendary immemorial desolate beast was there. Immemorial desolate beasts rivaled rank 8 Gu immortals, but most of them had low intelligence. They were not the match of rank 8 Gu immortals. But there were exceptions to everything. Among immemorial desolate beasts, there were a certain few unique individuals. Due to all sorts of fortuitous encounters, they had wisdom akin to that of humans. They learned the ways of Gu cultivation and had immortal apertures. They knew how to manipulate immortal Gu and could even unleash immortal killer moves. Their danger was extremely large, thus, every legendary immemorial desolate beast had its own name. Like dog-tail life-extending ferret Moonlight, Central Continent's evil dragon Di Zongsheng as well as Wukong, along with Zui Hui and Yu Tianguang. These were all legendary immemorial desolate beasts. Such existences were often stronger than most rank 8 Gu immortals. This could be seen from how the dog-tail life-extending ferret, Moonlight, killed 2 heavenly court rank 8 Gu immortals. Man is the spirit of all living beings, but they had weak bodies and could not compare to other lifeforms if Gu worms were not used. Be it speed, strength, lifespan, recovery speed, vision, hearing, and others, humans were inferior. Immemorial desolate beasts possessed extremely dense Dao marks. They had longer lifespan than humans. Their recovery, strength, and others surpassed an ordinary human. Once they could use immortal Gu and immortal killer moves, possessed an immortal aperture and had wisdom like humans, their strength would naturally surpass rank 8 Gu immortals. Does this dream realm want me to try and escape from getting eaten by Zui Hui? Fang Yuan entered the dream again. Using unraveled dream along the way, he went to the bottom of the giant corpse pile with a shred of life remaining. Good. Fang Yuan gathered his focus, and pushed away all of the corpses before Zui Hui started eating, burying himself. As Zui Hui started to suck, intense winds blew. The surface of the corpse mountain started to fly away towards it. Fang Yuan was intact as he had dug into the corpses. But soon, the intense winds continued unceasingly as he was swept into Zui Hui's mouth again. F***ck. Fang Yuan's final view was a row of sharp teeth stabbing into his body. Entering the dream again. I'll dig, and dig more. Fang Yuan continued as he used unraveled dream to find some easy spots to drill into, allowing his progress to be faster. Zui Hui continued to breathe in. After a long time, the wind stopped. Fang Yuan was also on his last breaths, hiding among the corpses. I finally endured it. While he was rejoicing, one of the 2 beastman Gu immortals in the air spoke. Zui Hui, good appetite. The dark giant said, too few, too few. I want to eat more humans. The more humans I eat, the closer I am to becoming human. Don't worry, there's more. The Beastman Gu Immortal laughed as it opened its immortal aperture. A large number of human Gu Master corpses fell down like a waterfall. F***CK. Fang Yuan's expression changed, he uncontrollably cursed. At the next moment, he was squashed to death by the pile of corpses. Entering the dream again. Fang Yuan dug into the corpse pile, but this time, he did not use his full strength. After the intense winds vanished, he was at the top layer of the remaining corpses. Corpses rained down as Fang Yuan quickly climbed towards the walls, trying to find some mountain rocks as his shelter. After the corpses rained down, he was intact. What should I do now? Fang Yuan looked at the pile of corpses in front of him as he thought rapidly. Currently, he was still buried among the corpses. He was about 6 meters away from the top layer. And now, he felt a numb sensation in his chest. Fang Yuan could not see in the pile of corpses, he used his hand to touch it. Next, he touched a slippery tail, it seemed like a snake or a centipede. Next, this tail drilled into his chest. Am I dying again? This question had just appeared in his mind when he was kicked out of the dream realm yet again. Earlier, that seems to be a Gu worm. Fang Yuan thought in real life. There are so many mortal Gu master corpses, it seemed like a huge battle occurred and some mortal Gu were not taken away, that is normal. Even if Gu immortals find them, those tiny mortal Gu are not of significance to them. Of course, in an extreme environment like the Sea of Corpses, wild Gu might be created, it is not strange. Fang Yuan acutely sensed that this Gu worm was his opportunity. After his injuries healed, he entered the dream realm again. Refinement of the Gu worm failed, he died. Refining again, this time, he was in a deadlock as Yi Hui started to eat again. Fang Yuan was interrupted and failed, he died. Finally, after refining the Gu worm, he realized that it was a rank 2 Gu worm used for offense. Fang Yuan cursed as once again, he died. Again, he died. And died. And died. What sort of rotten dream is this? There were an uncountable number of failures, even one time, because of his actions, the 2 Gu immortals took notice and waved their fingers, causing Fang Yuan to die from a mystical light. Despair. In this dream realm, Fang Yuan was too weak. Any mishap or wind was a fatal danger to him that caused him to die. Should I give up on this dream realm? Thoughts continuously appeared of giving up. Fang Yuan's investment in this dream realm was beyond the rest, but hope was bleak, he could not see any chance of success. This dream realm was unimaginably difficult. Let's try once more. I can persevere once more. I died again, should I give up? There was another chain of deaths. Fang Yuan wanted to give up, but he could not bear to because he had invested so much. More importantly, he had never seen such a dream realm. If he succeeded, it would be a huge accumulation of experience to him. Even if he gave up now, would he encounter such a dream realm again in the future? Gritting his teeth and persevering. Until the final time. There were about 60 corpses in the ground in the valley. Fang Yuan struggled for a long time before preserving his life. He was mixed among them. A Gu formation appeared. Fang Yuan discovered that Yi Hui was trapped by this super Gu formation. Its lower body was buried in the ground, only its upper body could move. This damned 4 elements formation, let me break you. After it ate enough, Yi Hui roared at the sky as it burst out with a powerful dark gray light. The gray light enveloped the entire valley. Oh no, this is the immortal killer move Gray Knight. Let's retreat. The 2 Beastman Gu immortals flew into the sky. The 4 elements formation activated, as earth, water, wind, and fire, 4 mystical lights burst out and resisted the gray light, limiting it to the valley. Yi Hui growled in anger and unwillingness to give in, but it was useless. What the, how can I dodge this? The gray light was everywhere, enveloping the valley. The Beastman Gu immortals could run, but Fang Yuan could not. He watched as the surrounding grass and rocks were eliminated by this gray light. He himself was no exception. Fang Yuan fell into deep despair. This is an unsolvable dream realm. The gray light cannot be dodged. If I had known this, I would have given up long ago. That was the wiser decision. Feeling deep regret, Fang Yuan returned to the real world. His soul injury was much more severe than any of his previous attempts. But what made Fang Yuan joyful was that his dark path attainment level had risen to Grandmaster level all of a sudden. What happened? Fang Yuan quickly inspected. He was shocked to find out that this dream realm had vanished. So lasting until the final moment meant passing this dream realm. I succeeded. This is a survival-type dream realm. I only needed to last till the end. This dream realm only had one scene, but after passing it, my ordinary dark path attainment level rose up to Grandmaster level. Is it because of Sui Hui's existence? Many questions were left unanswered. Fang Yuan's knowledge of dream realms was too shallow. After all, he had not invested effort into dream realms in the 500 years of his previous life. At the same time, Bai Ningbing and He Lulan were filled with questions. Where is this? He Lulan looked at the world of birds and flowers that was shrouded in thin fog as she asked. This is the Mushroom Man Paradise. A variant human Gu immortal appeared from within the fog. Mushroom Man Gu immortal? Bai Ningbing's dragon pupils shrunk. Mushroom men were a type of variant humans. They resembled humans, but there was a mushroom cap on their heads, resembling a hat. Below the mushroom cap were the mushroomman's brows and eyes. As for nose, ears, and other features, they were all present. Mushroom Man. Paradise. He Lulan muttered these two words. Don't tell me, this is Paradise Earth Immortal Venerables. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1338, 7 Illusions True Inheritance, Chakra Melons. Chapter 1338, 7 Illusions True Inheritance, Chakra Melons. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Before He Lulan finished her words, Purple Mountain True Monarch interrupted. That's right, this blessed land has been modified by Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable. It faces no calamities and tribulations. The Mushroom Man blessed land has turned into the Mushroom Man Paradise. Of course, there are many paradises in this world, but this one is very special, because Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had cultivated here before he became a Venerable. Oh. The Mushroom Man Gu Immortal sighed deeply. Ever since I obtained that true inheritance, I knew that one day, I would have to pay a huge price. But if you want me to help you with evil deeds, that is impossible. You can just kill me. I won't kill you. Purple Mountain True Monarch showed a crafty smile. I want you to bring them into the Melon Cave, where Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable had once stayed in and cultivated for some time. You won't refuse this request, right? The Mushroom Man Gu Immortal's expression became even more bitter. He thought for a while before nodding solemnly. All right, I agree. Mushroom Man Paradise, Melon Cave. This cave was guarded by the Mushroom Man Gu Immortal. Purple Mountain True Monarch assimilated with Heaven's will. He could sense Heaven's will's plotting. He used this Mushroom Man Gu Immortal to successfully send He Lulan and Bai Ningbing into this magical place. These are the chakra melons that my tribe grows. You can cultivate here secretly, but don't damage a single melon. The Mushroom Man Gu Immortal said. Chakra melons. Bai Ningbing and He Lulan looked at each other, seeing the shock on their faces. Chakra melons were rank 7 immortal materials, containing refinement path Dao marks. They could be used in any Gu refinement. Thus, this immortal material was very widely used. And now, both of them saw the scale of this melon plantation cave. It was simply terrifyingly huge. How many chakra melons were there? Purple Mountain True Monarch explained from the side. No need to guess, this is the largest chakra melon production area in Treasure Yellow Heaven. They have almost 60% of the market share. Of course, I did not bring you here for the chakra melons. The important thing is this super Gu formation. This Super Gu formation uses Rule Path Ripe Immortal Gu as the core, and it also uses Rank 7 Do Immortal Gu as a supplementary Immortal Gu. When you train your Immortal Killer moves here, the effectiveness will rise sharply, you will become more proficient in them. And because of Do Immortal Gu, your Immortal Essence recovery speed will be very fast inside the Gu formation. He Lulan and Bai Ningbing heard this and showed great joy. Such a cultivation paradise simply suited them perfectly. He Lulan cultivated Strength Path primarily along with Fire Path. She had few Strength Path Immortal Gu, and many Fire Path Immortal Gu. She also had countless Fire Path Immortal Killer moves left by her aunt in the Fire Path True Inheritance. Bai Ningbing had just obtained Bai Xiang's True Inheritance. She was not weak either, she had many Immortal Gu and Immortal Killer moves. Right now, what restricted them was the fact that they had just obtained their true inheritances and did not have the time to fully convert these gains into battle strength. In the regional walls, when they fought Fang Yuan, this weakness was very obvious. Purple Mountain True Monarch woke up and took charge. In order to raise his side's battle strength, he brought these two here, using this paradise to train the two immortals. Melon Cave had a huge space. The Mushroom Man Gu Immortal easily provided an area for Bai Ningbing and He Lulan to cultivate. After making arrangements for them, Purple Mountain True Monarch left the Mushroom Man paradise. Days passed by. Fang Yuan was still in the Super Gu formation, exploring dream realms. On the surface, he was cultivating in seclusion. He had deceived everyone. Nobody knew that he was exploring dream realms. His gains were immense. Qi Shang was a good benchmark. Qi Shang was the formation devotee. After more than 100 years of researching formation path, he reached his formation path Grandmaster attainment level. At his age, his talents and achievements were considered rare among Gu immortals. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan only spent a month or two to pass a dream realm with formation path true meaning and become a formation path Grandmaster. Because dream realms were so amazing, and could reduce the time needed for accumulations, during the 5 regions chaotic war, all sorts of Gu immortal experts appeared. They were like shining stars in the sky. There were countless geniuses. Right now, Fang Yuan was not only a formation path Grandmaster, he was also a dark path Grandmaster. With such attainment level, Fang Yuan had new ideas towards the use of Dark Limit Immortal Gu. Right now, I can use Dark Limit Immortal Gu as the core to form an Immortal Killer move targeting myself, to prevent the deduction of others. Along with my Dark Path Dao marks, this Immortal Killer move's power will be very terrifying. I can even use Dark Limit Immortal Gu as the core to form an Immortal Killer move that can unleash an attack resembling Dark Arrow Immortal Gu. There is also another idea. I can use Dark Limit Immortal Gu in other Immortal Killer moves to conceal all of the auras of these killer moves. After using them, I can catch people off guard, and achieve incredible effects. Actually, for Fang Yuan, he needed Food Path and Information Path Dream Realms most. Food Path would allow him to feed Immortal Gu more easily with lower costs. The savings could be used to assist in his cultivation or development of resources. Information Path was even more important. Fang Yuan had many Information Path alliance agreements right now. This made him lose a lot of freedom. When he did things, he was restricted. It was inconvenient. There was another point. If his information path attainment level rose, Fang Yuan would be able to decipher many information path traps and methods. He would be able to cooperate with Shadow Sect. But things in this world did not come according to one's wishes. The place that Fang Yuan was guarding was like a window. After he finished his exploration, Sui Hui's dream realm vanished. The new dream realms that filled up the space were all strange and absurd types. Fang Yuan did not want to try these types of dream realms, even if he had Unravel Dream. Fang Yuan patiently waited. Dream realms changed among themselves occasionally. But because he met with absurd dream realms consecutively, Fang Yuan could only divert his efforts elsewhere. Developing his immortal aperture was the key goal. Secondly, his newly obtained Dark Path attainment level allowed him to create some useful immortal killer moves, and finally, he had to collect information. After Heavenly Court lost 3 rank 8 Gu immortals, they kept a low profile. The 5 regions were in a state of peace. But Wu Clan's troubles did not end. Even with Wu Yong suppressing the situation, sending people to resolve conflicts. The other super forces were causing all sorts of problems. Wu Clan was extremely busy in dealing with them. There was a troublesome matter recently. The cause was the Immortal Gu recipe of bathing flames. Immortal Gu, a Mortal Gu master had by chance excavated it. Once news spread, Yao Clan's and Wu Clan's attention was drawn. This Immortal Gu recipe was part of the content of the fire path true inheritance left by Stunning Immortal. 1,000 years ago, Wu Clan and Yao Clan had lingering enmity after fighting over this fire path true inheritance. Eventually, both sides suffered losses, but they did not obtain this fire path true inheritance. The fire path true inheritance was said to be destroyed, but since the recipe of bathing flames Immortal Gu appeared, everyone started to have hope. Especially Wu Clan and Yao Clan, due to historical reasons, these two super forces had to get this Immortal Gu recipe. Even if they could not get it, the other party was not allowed to get it. Thus, Wu Yong sent out Wu Yiran. He gave up on defending Blood Tide Pit, a resource point. Wu Yiran had rank 7 cultivation level, he had outstanding battle strength, he obeyed the orders as he wanted to quickly settle the matter, but soon, he found that there was no Stunning Immortal true inheritance, only this Bathing Flames Immortal Gu recipe was left. As a result, many Gu Immortals left. They did not want to offend two super forces just for an Immortal Gu recipe. Yao Clan was not going to give up. They sent a powerful person, Yao Gung. Wu Yiran and Yao Gung fought 4 times, they had 2 wins and losses each. The final match was the crucial one. During this crucial moment, Purple Mountain True Monarch secretly arrived at a meeting point. On a nameless mountain, he met a mysterious Gu Immortal. The mysterious Gu Immortal was covered in rainbow light, concealing his appearance. "You called me here?" Purple Mountain True Monarch nodded. "That's right, regardless of how you obtained the complete 7 illusions true inheritance, you have already made an alliance agreement. You need to do 7 things for me." "Alright, which 7? The mysterious Gu Immortal answered openly. Purple Mountain True Monarch's lips curled. "First, kill Wu Yiran." The mysterious Gu Immortal was stunned. "Are you sure?" Purple Mountain True Monarch's smile widened, continuing, "Second, kill Yao Gung." The mysterious Gu Immortal was wary. "What are you trying to do?" "You don't need to care about that. Just kill the 2 of them." Purple Mountain True Monarch chuckled. The mysterious Gu Immortal snorted coldly, his body vanished on the spot as he left. Purple Mountain True Monarch's smile gradually faded, his arms were behind his back as he looked at a faraway mountain with a deep gaze. "There is not much time left, I need to take action," he muttered softly. A few days later, shocking news emerged. Wu Yiran and Yao Gung both went missing. The result of their fight was unknown. Wu Clan and Yao Clan were shaken, because from their Life Tablet Gu and Soul Lantern Gu, Wu Yiran and Yao Gung were already dead. Who was so ruthless? Wu Yong was enraged. Right when he sent Gu Immortals to investigate this, Blood Tide Pit erupted. A huge blood tide caused great destruction. Wu Clan quickly sent Gu Immortals to suppress the situation, but they found traces that an immortal killer move, Collapsing Art, was used at the scene. Collapsing Art was a killer move self-created by Yao Gung. The traces at the scene were indisputable. The situation became complex. Did Yao Gung die after all? Is this Yao Clan's scheme? Other than Yao Clan, is any other clan striking? Wu Yong felt something amiss. He could sense a dangerous storm brewing. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1339, Framing, Blood Tide Pit. Chapter 1339, Framing, Blood Tide Pit. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Splash splash splash. Sounds of waves were unceasing, the air was filled with a bloody smell, assaulting everyone's noses. The 2 Gu Immortals from Wu Clan, Wu Yuanju and Rong Hao, were flying in the sky now, looking at the sea of blood below. The former's expression was solemn while the latter's was bitter. The blood flood has spread an enormous distance, more than 10 mountains were flooded. If we do not seal it now, this calamity will cause even greater damage later. Wu Yuanju said solemnly. Blood Tide Pit was originally defended by Wu Yiran, but after he died, Blood Tide Pit was taken down and the Gu formations inside were destroyed. This caused the blood tide to burst out and flood the surrounding area, causing this huge disaster. Rong Hao had a worried expression. It will not be easy for the two of us to create a new Gu formation and seal the blood tide again. If we had another rank 6, with 3 Gu immortals, we would barely be able to do it. These two had rank 6 cultivation level. It was not difficult to handle this blood tide disaster, but Wu Yong gave them a limited amount of time. 2 people were not able to resolve this in a short period of time. There was no choice. Wu Yong could not deploy more people to handle this troublesome situation. During Wu Duxiu's era, Wu clan rapidly expanded without obstruction, because Wu Duxiu could suppress the entire situation alone. Once Wu Duxiu died, Wu Yong took over. Wu clan only had one rank 8 left. Even though Wu Yong had great capabilities, Wu clan's territory was just too big. Due to Purple Mountain True Monarch's scheme, the super forces could not control their desires. Wu clan was faced with obstacles created by many of the super forces. Wu Yong stayed in their headquarters and was maintaining the situation and deciding on who to send. But this time, Wu Yiran had died. With him gone, a huge gap formed instantly in Wu clan's defense line. Sending out Wu Yuanju and Rong Hao was already Wu clan's limit. Give it our all. Even if we exceed the time limit, we have already tried our best. Wu Yuanju sighed, starting to act. Rong Hao cooperated. He was not a Wu clansman, he was an external supreme elder recruited by Wu clan. Southern borders clans were very unwelcoming to outsiders. It was not easy for Wu clan to break tradition and recruit an external Gu immortal into Wu clan. Under the 2 Gu immortals methods, the blood tide continued to push backwards. The blood tide pit was like a huge monstrous mouth, devouring the blood outside. The situation was under control. It was getting better. Wu Yuanju sighed. After suppressing this blood tide and rebuilding the Gu formation, Rong Hao, you will have to take over the position of guarding this place. I hope you can be careful, the situation is quite tense now. Rong Hao nodded, I understand. I heard that this blood tide pit was not naturally formed, it was created by Blood Sea Ancestor on purpose. Wu Yuanju nodded. Blood Sea Ancestor left behind 7 true inheritances. This is one of the 7 true inheritances that he had meticulously arranged. It was not eye-catching earlier, similar to normal pits, but when a Gu master from Shang clan entered, he obtained a Blood Sea true inheritance, obtaining Blood Handprint Gu. This person is Shang clan's previous clan leader, Shang Yanfei. He had died on Etian Mountain. After Shang Yanfei took away the Blood Sea true inheritance, blood tide started to appear in this pit unceasingly. Wu Duxiu sent Gu immortals here and made this part of Wu clan's territory. Due to Wu clan's management, Blood Tide Pit quickly became a blood path resource point. Wu clan was developing blood path. This resource point made great contributions. You two sure are happy. At this time, Rong Hao heard a voice in his mind. Who? Rong Hao was shocked. He wanted to use his methods to defend himself, but he could not move at all. He quickly looked over at Wu Yuanju to seek help, but he was soon met with despair, as Wu Yuanju was also immobilized, in the same state as him. A small figure had appeared on Rong Hao's shoulder. He was the size of a thumb, he had wings on his back, resembling dragonfly wings, his purple hair was very eye-catching. It was none other than rank 8 Wisdom Path Gu Immortal Purple Mountain True Monarch. Mini-Man Gu Immortal. Wu Yuanju was shocked, but he quickly calmed down. Purple Mountain True Monarch's aura was concealed, he did not expose his rank 8 aura. Rong Hao quickly added, as a variant human, you must know that humans are the rulers of the world. No matter who instigated you, I hope that you will not act rashly. Because we are not only human Gu immortals, we are also members of Wu clan. Wu clan is the #1 righteous path force in southern border. If you kill us, the consequences will be severe. We have no grudges between us. We of Wu clan would not bully people. If you have any requests, we can help you with them, we can become friends. Wu Yuanju continued. He had great chemistry with Rong Hao, both threatening and urging at the same time. But before he finished his words, he started to stutter as his gaze turned hollow. Rong Hao was shocked. He blurted out, "Wisdom Path Gu Immortal." At this point, he also became incoherent. Purple Mountain True Monarch's wisdom path methods interfered with Wu Yuanju's and Rong Hao's thoughts. They could not even think and speak now. They were completely defenseless. When Gu Immortals manipulate Gu worms, thoughts were needed. Their body actions also needed thoughts to act. Purple Mountain True Monarch directly interfered with their thoughts, controlling them from this aspect. These two rank 6 Gu Immortals had no way of resisting him. Easily controlling the situation, Purple Mountain True Monarch looked at the blood-tide pit and smiled. Next, his rank 8 aura burst out. In the blink of an eye, it engulfed the surroundings. The blood tide below his feet became calmer. After some time, Purple Mountain True Monarch opened his mouth, letting out a breath. His breath floated into the blood tide pit. It was not eye-catching, quickly devoured by the rushing blood tide, vanishing. At this point, Purple Mountain True Monarch turned around, looking afar and saying, "Your turn." Light in 7 colors appeared as a voice said in a trembling tone, "You are a rank 8 great expert. With your strength, you can move unhindered in southern border. Why must you find trouble with a minor character like me? I have my own plans. You have to pay for what you owe. When you inherited 7 illusions true inheritance, you should have expected this day." Purple Mountain True Monarch said. "But the inheritors before me have never received any orders. Why me?" The mysterious Gu Immortal covered in rainbow lights said in a reluctant tone. Purple Mountain True Monarch sighed, looking at Heavenly Court, "Maybe this is your fate. Alright, use Xiao Zhikai's method to kill this person." Wu Yuanju and Rong Hao were still dazed, unable to move. Purple Mountain True Monarch captured these two alive, but he still wanted the mysterious Gu Immortal to kill them. The mysterious Gu Immortal did not dare to disobey Purple Mountain True Monarch. He used his profound light, as it transformed and landed on these two Wu clan Gu Immortals, destroying their souls, and even their bodies turning into wooden statues. Purple Mountain True Monarch released control on them, as these two statues fell into the blood tide. "Let's go," Purple Mountain True Monarch said plainly. How could the mysterious Gu Immortal defy Purple Mountain True Monarch? Even if he was not a rank 8 great expert, with just the Information Path Alliance agreement in the True Inheritance, it could restrict the mysterious Gu Immortal. Both of them left as quickly as they came. Of course, Purple Mountain True Monarch did not forget to clean up his traces in the battlefield. A moment later, intense winds blew in the air, countless clouds were scattered, clear skies could be seen everywhere. A grand and vast rank 8 aura enveloped the area. Wu Yong's expression was of rage, his eyes were slightly red as he descended. Who was it? Who had killed them? Wu Yiran died earlier, and now, Wu Yuanju and Rong Hao were dead. Because of Life Tablet Gu and Soul Lantern Gu, Wu clan received news almost immediately. Wu Yong was enraged. He decided to go out himself. Wu clan lost 3 Gu Immortals at once, 1 rank 7 and 2 rank 6s, the losses was tremendous. Wu Yong felt both loss and anger. He wants to see who it was that could step past this bottom line and anger Wu clan. But next, after seeing Wu Yuanju's and Rong Hao's corpses, Wu Yong was stunned. Wooden statue murder. His pupils shrunk to pin size. Xiao Zhikai. A moment later, Xiao Clan Gu Immortal Xiao Zhikai rushed to the scene. Blood Tide Pit had been suppressed, the ground was completely covered in blood, and there were also 2 Wu Clan Gu Immortal corpses. Xiao Clan First Supreme Elder, what do you have to say? Wu Yong had a calm expression, his tone was very plain. But the calmer he was, the more fearful Xiao Zhikai was. He was Xiao Clan's first Supreme Elder, his signature immortal killer move was Wooden Statue Murder. If any ordinary Gu Immortal was hit by this, their souls would crumble and disperse, they would lose their life, their bodies would turn into wood, and the remaining life force could be used to grow trees. Ignoring the cold sweat on his forehead, Xiao Zhikai explained, Lord Wu Yong, please listen, I did not do this, someone is trying to frame me. Xiao clan and Wu clan have a long relationship, we are closely related. Before Qiao Zhikai finished his words, Wu Yong interrupted him. His eyes were shining, he stared at Xiao Zhikai, of course I am willing to trust you. Xiao clan and Wu clan, we have marriage connections, we are in an alliance, how can our relationship be ruined by this? Xiao Zhikai let out a breath of air, bowing deeply, Lord Wu Yong is wise. Wu Yong continued, if someone is trying to frame you, this is way too obvious. Who is it? What motives do they have? What plans do they have next? This is what I am concerned about. Wait a while, I have already invited Tai Clan Gu Immortal Tai Mianshen. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1340, Ghost Summoning, Tai Mianshen. Chapter 1340, Ghost Summoning, Tai Mianshen. Translator. Atlas Studios. Editor. Atlas Studios. Southern Border, Tai Clan, Wancheng Mountain. Rumble. A chain of low sounds enveloped this unassuming valley. At the bottom of this valley, there was a girl. She had a tall body, her legs were more than 60% of her total height, she looked heroic and agile. Right now, her eyebrows were sharp like swords, her eyes were shining like stars, she looked upwards. Giant rocks that were the size of houses were crashing down towards her by the cliff. The girl breathed in deeply, at this moment of life and death, she shut her eyes. Hundreds of giant rocks were about to land on her, but at this moment, she opened her eyes. In an instant, golden light radiated, it was extremely dazzling, as if a miniature sun had appeared in the valley. The light lasted for a while before vanishing. The loud sounds also vanished, endless white powder scattered down, slowly descending. The young woman was bathed in the rock powder, joy showing on her determined face. Good, Tai Ruanan, you succeeded in this killer move I taught, passing the final test. From now onwards, you will follow me and cultivate, I will teach you the ways of becoming an immortal. A grand voice echoed in this valley. The young girl knelt on the ground, thank you for the guidance, Lord Supreme Elder. You hate evil so much and have great talent, you are suited for my Iron Mask true inheritance. Originally, your father was one of my chosen seeds, but to think that his daughter had countless times his talent, The grand voice suddenly stopped. But soon, Tai Ruanan heard, there is a sudden issue, stay here and cultivate. The killer move I taught you might have succeeded, but you are not proficient enough. During this period, you need to practice more, when I return, we will have further plans. Yes. The girl respectfully bowed, excitement could not be concealed on her face. Finally, I finally did it. Father, I surpassed you. Watch me in heaven, I will become a Gu immortal and obtain true strength. This world is too dark and chaotic, only with greater strength can I punish evildoers and reward those who carry out good deeds, justice will prevail and the world will be a better place. Zhongli, you bitch who murdered your own husband, to think that my brother treated you so well, and in the end, you actually acted so ruthlessly and killed him. Today, I will cut you into pieces, you will die without a proper corpse. A young Gu immortal shouted, his rage was unstoppable, his rank 7 aura was bursting. Feng Yuan. Ever since he passed the dream realm regarding Zui Hui, his dark path attainment level had risen to Grandmaster level. But next, there was an absurd dream realm. Feng Yuan played safe and did not explore this dream realm full of uncertainties. After waiting for a while, he finally encountered a realistic dream realm. But in the end, he became a female Gu immortal in this dream realm, and was very risque. Because this female immortal cultivated enchantment emotion path. This was a tiny path, derived from wisdom path as a minor path. It used emotions to fight, and enchantment to allure enemies. Right now, Feng Yuan was a female immortal, he wore a pink dress, there were 2 huge treasures on his upper body, the corners of his skirt were open and exposed until his upper thigh. When he smiled, it was incredibly seductive. Fang Yuan was helpless about this. This was another person's dream realm, he had to be a character in it if he wanted to take part in the dream. Of course, becoming a woman would not disrupt Fang Yuan's impassive mental state. He was vigilant against his enemy as he concentrated on his immortal aperture. What made Fang Yuan glad was that this female immortal had many immortal Gu. I'll try this Gu first. Fang Yuan instilled immortal essence as he heard an alluring cry from it. This voice that appeared was not controlled by Fang Yuan, it was a woman's voice filled with seduction and temptation. The young Gu immortal was very angry earlier, but after hearing this sound, his body went limp, his killing intent faded. His momentum was lost as he gritted his teeth, clarity returning to his eyes. Vicious woman, you dare to toy with me. Take this move. Saying this, he pushed with his hands as a huge tornado swept towards Fang Yuan with countless wind blades. Fang Yuan quickly retreated, dodging as he used his second immortal Gu. Immediately, Fang Yuan's skirt turned into a pink fog as it coiled around him, bringing Fang Yuan away quickly. The speed was impressive, Fang Yuan sighed. It was not inferior to Sword Escape Immortal Gu, the only regretful part was, the farther he flew, the thinner the pink fog on his body, it was able to cover his entire body earlier, but now, his tender white thighs and arms were exposed already. Fang Yuan was not afraid of running naked, this mindset of being embarrassed was no longer in him, moreover, this was a dream. The regretful thing was, this immortal Gu could not be used for long, otherwise, with just this speed, his enemy was not a problem. Slut, you ran quickly. But you will die today, in order to kill you and avenge my brother, I will do anything and pay any price. The young Gu immortal shouted loudly with blood-red eyes. At the same time, he used his immortal killer move. Jade green wind gathered into a small dagger in his palm. The dagger shone with jade light. Fang Yuan took a look at it and felt fearful. Oh no! Fang Yuan's heart sank. Just these one or two immortal Gu alone cannot stop the immortal killer move. But I do not know what immortal killer moves this Zhongli possesses. As he felt troubled, Fang Yuan quickly used Unravel Dream. Suddenly, a mysterious power moved in Fang Yuan's immortal aperture. An immortal Gu and dozens of mortal Gu were activated under this mysterious power. This is... Fang Yuan sensed this and felt great joy. He quickly continued to use Unravel Dream. Under its influence, the mysterious power continued to exert its strength. Many Gu worms in his immortal aperture were used. Next, a completely unknown immortal killer move was activated. Fang Yuan did not know what this immortal killer move did, or what effect it had. There was no time to lose. Right now, the young Gu immortal had already blown at his hand with his lips. That jade wind dagger shot out like an arrow, flying towards Fang Yuan, fast and ruthless. Fang Yuan sighed to himself. At this moment, it was all up to chance. Would Unravel Dream use an effective immortal killer move to defend against this jade wind dagger? Fang Yuan had no idea. But under the effect of this killer move, Fang Yuan could not help but pinch his fingers, waving at this young Gu immortal as he whispered bewitchingly, "Ghost summoning." This voice was enchanting to the limit, even Fang Yuan shuddered upon hearing it. Next, a ghost really came. This Gu immortal soul had rank 7 battle strength, it flew towards the jade wind dagger relentlessly. That young Gu immortal saw the ghost and his expression changed, he shouted, "Brother." It turned out that this female immortal, Zhongli, had killed her husband and refined his soul into an immortal killer move. Fang Yuan saw this and had a flash of inspiration. He called out, "As long as I stop this killer move, your brother's soul can be saved, destroy it if you dare." The young Gu immortal was enraged, but he was afraid of harming his brother, he could not fight properly. Fang Yuan was intensely joyful, he quickly attacked and stabilized the situation. A moment later, he found a flaw and killed him. He passed the dream realm. Huff. Fang Yuan let out a breath of air, returning to reality. This dream realm only had one scene. Fang Yuan was slightly surprised. This was a tiny dream realm. Fang Yuan passed it in one try. Inspecting himself, he found that his attainment level for Wisdom Path and Soul Path had risen. Enchantment Emotion Path had never left Wisdom Path. There are no Enchantment Emotion Path Dao marks in this world, only Wisdom Path Dao marks. Thus, my Wisdom Path attainment level grew. As for Soul Path, perhaps that Zhongli cultivated Soul Path too. Her ghost summoning immortal killer move belongs to Soul Path. He analyzed and looked at his attainment level. Right now, he had 8 Grandmaster level paths. They were Blood Path, Strength Path, Transformation Path, Star Path, Wisdom Path, Water Path, Dark Path, and Formation Path. Refinement Path was Quasi-Grandmaster, Luck Path was Master, Phantom Path was Empty. His Sword Path attainment level was Ordinary, his Soul Path was also Ordinary, but after Zhang Li's Dream Realm, it had risen to Quasi-Master level. That Immortal Killer move, Ghost Summoning, is quite interesting. Even though I do not have enough Soul Path attainment level, my Wisdom Path is Grandmaster. It was from a realistic Dream Realm. I very likely can use this same killer move again, with a portion of its strength. Even if I cannot replicate it, I can create a similar Immortal Killer move. But even if I replicate this Immortal Killer move, it is inferior to improving Vajra Shell. Ordinary Gu Immortals would be happy if there was a possibility, they would try to deduce the Immortal Killer move. But Fang Yuan was different. Recently, his attainment level had risen a lot, he had countless inspirations, he could only choose to modify the Immortal Killer moves with the highest value to him. This was a good problem to have. His Dark Path attainment level was Grandmaster, he could use Dark Limit Immortal Gu and Perseverance Immortal Gu as the cores to create a new Immortal Killer move. This Immortal Killer move would allow him to conceal himself. His Formation Path attainment level rose. Fang Yuan had a new idea about Vajra Shell. This made him extremely moved. The original Vajra Shell used Vajra Thought Immortal Gu and Perseverance Immortal Gu as the cores, but in his concept, if he could add in Precaution Immortal Gu and some Formation Path Mortal Gu, the power would rise by multiple times. After Zhang Li's Dream Realm, the following ones were not suited for exploration. Fang Yuan started to shift his focus, modifying the Immortal Killer move Vajra Shell. Just as Fang Yuan rapidly increased his strength, Tai Mianshan arrived in front of Qiao Ji Kai and Wu Yong. This rank 7 Gu Immortal wore a martial uniform, his chest and legs were covered in light armor, there was a thick iron mask on his face. He had not brought a mask to wear, it was the trait of cultivating the iron mask true inheritance. All the Gu Immortals who cultivate this true inheritance must have a heart of justice, they also were often people most skilled in southern border in investigating the truth. After seeing those 2 corpses, Tai Mianshan declared, it was not Qiao Ji Kai. Qiao Ji Kai let out a breath of air. Who was it? Wu Yong asked. Someone mimicked his Immortal Killer move Wooden Statue Murder. This is something seen before in history. Tai Mianshan answered, Lord Wu Yong, I wonder if you have heard of 7 Illusions Demon Immortal. Wu Yong frowned, you mean the inheritor of the 7 Illusions true inheritance? It is said that the Gu Immortal who inherits it will have a method to mimic almost any method used by Gu Immortals in this world. Tai Mianshan, is that true? Tai Mianshan nodded, our clan's demon suppression tower had once contained a 7 Illusions Demon Immortal. We did not manage to get the contents of the 7 Illusions true inheritance, but we know a lot of its secrets. This 7 Illusions true inheritance has 7 different layers. The inheritor can choose to inherit any of the layers or get the complete 7 Illusions true inheritance. But after inheriting one true inheritance, they will have to agree to one condition, in the future, they would need to do something for someone. Taking all 7 layers would mean 7 conditions. Our clan has already devised methods to locate a 7 Illusions inheritor, and differentiate their methods. I used it earlier, this was undoubtedly a 7 Illusions Demon Immortal. Interesting. Wu Yong nodded, frowning deeply. Even if they knew the truth, so what? Who was the 7 Illusions Demon Immortal? Which force or person was behind them? Wu Yong still did not know the answer to this problem. But at the next moment, Tai Mianshan's words eased Wu Yong's frown. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report chapter so we can fix it as soon as possible.